Kindly confirm if you're able to hear me. Am I audible, guys? Guys, am I audible? Hello? Everyone, can you hear me? Hello? Let me check. Hello? No, it's showing. Hey guys, am I audible to you all? Okay, thank you, Neeraj. Okay guys, so we're going to work with Excel files majorly, and I will see how to work with CSL, XML, and JSON also. Right, now open Spider, and if you have any queries for the previous lecture, you can ask me. Or did I give you any task? Uh, we can discuss that too. So basically, we are going to work with Excel spreadsheets. So today we're going to go see this, and apart from that, we're going to use few of the libraries that are used for working with Excel sheets and CSV and JSON, right, and XML. Okay, and we'll see pandas is also used for reading these files. So we'll see pandas for Excel sheet also. Tomorrow we're going to see, if time permits, then tomorrow we're going to see regular expression. And then we're going to combine everything next week and see a lot of different use cases and practicals on this. No queries, guys? So shall we start with Excel? Okay. So the module that we use for reading Excel sheets are there are a lot of different modules that we use, right? A few of the very good one are your Open Excel. That is one of the very good modules that we use for Excel sheet manipulation. Other module that is good is we use Pandas for this, right? Then we have Excel RD. Okay, so these are the three modules that we prefer using. Okay, for reading the Excel file or working with the Excel. Right, so we're going to start with Open Excel. So first thing we need to do is we need to check if it's there or not. So guys, I'll suggest you to open an Anaconda prompt for Windows user, right? And for non-Windows user, Linux or Mac, just simply open your command prompt or terminal in your case. Okay, so you have to open Anaconda prompt. Can you do that? Good morning, guys. Okay. Once you open Anaconda prompt, simply type Python, right, and it will show you this triple greater sign. Then type import. Uh, okay. Open PyExcel and hit enter and see what you're getting. Okay. Can you do that? So if you're not getting any error, that means that OpenPyExcel is already there in your Anaconda distribution of Python, right? Okay. So Excel is, as you all know, is very powerful and popular spreadsheet application that we use majorly for Windows, right? So okay, check this and let me know. So if you're working with Mac or Linux, so even if you have this, um, I think it's Liber, right? Libre, right? LibreOffice or all these things, right? Or OpenOffice. It's going to work, or it's going to create a file which is extension of XLSX, right? Which is again your Excel file only. Okay, the same format, so we can work on this also, right? Not only on Excel sheets, which is the proprietary of Windows, right? Your LibreOffice and your OpenOffice, they also create the same file extension. Okay, so it's good to work with that too, right? So for non-Windows guys, you can work like this. You can get it from their websites, which is their name with .org extension, right? LibreOffice.org or OpenOffice.org. Okay, so there are some basic definitions that you should be knowing, right? One of the basic definition is uh, an Excel spreadsheet document is what we call workbook, right? Okay, okay, that is one thing that you should know. Workbook is the name that we give for the basic Excel spreadsheet document, right? And your single workbook is saved as an extension of .xlsx always, right? That is the extension of the workbook that we save. Okay, and each workbook can contain multiple sheets. Okay, there could be multiple sheets within one workbook, right? It's like your one book can contain multiple pages. Similarly, one workbook can contain multiple sheets. Okay, these are also what we call worksheets. And then the sheet which user is currently looking at or viewing is what we called active sheet. Okay, the sheet which your user is currently viewing is what we call active sheet. Okay, each sheet, they have columns. Okay, and the column names or address starts, or we address columns with the alphabet, like it starts with A, right? And we have rows. Okay, and rows are addressed by the numbers starting with 1. So we have A1, A2, A3, or B1, B2, B3, C, C1, B1, and so on, right? Okay, and these columns and rows, basically they create different cells, right? And those grids, or uh, those grid of cells, or those cells in total creates a single sheet, right? I think every one of you is aware about the Excel, but still will be using these terms in the coding, right? That's why I had to tell you. Okay, so this is how your sheet looks like, or your workbook, and you have different sheets that you can add here, right? This is your column, A, B, C, D, and so on. These are your rows. Okay, so if I say A2, then I'm just going to do this. If I say G13, okay, this is G, this is 13, I'm referring to this, right? Okay, and since I'm on sheet 2, so active sheet is sheet 2. Okay, so these are the terms that we'll be using here. Okay, so let's start how to read, how to write into it, okay, and all the different concepts. Okay guys, so save this file, and I'm going to create a new folder here. Okay, let me know once you have opened this. I'll tell you what to do. Okay, we'll be using an example sheet for this. Let me check. Let me see if I have that, or do we need to create a new one? Sheet I can use. Okay, let me share a sheet with you that we basically can use with this. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so we'll be needing an example sheet, right? Because we're going to read the data from that sheet, right? Okay. Meanwhile, scanning the drives. So the task that we're going to do here is first of all reading from Excel, right? Okay. Okay, I think this should work. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this with you all. Okay, produce cell. Okay, 11. Just a sec, guys. I need to sign in. Uh, new file upload. So I'm creating a link through which you can download this particular Excel sheet, right? Okay, so I'll have to go to. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, guys, so you can get this from this link. Okay, kindly download this Excel sheet so that we all can work with the same structure. Okay. Okay, so it's produce cells dot Excel. Okay, you can download this, and it has a lot of data points actually, a lot. Okay, simply you have to open this link and click on this download. Okay, and that will download you this uh, Excel sheet. Okay, kindly do that, guys. Okay. So first we're going to read, and that is the first set of tasks that we're going to do. How to read to an Excel sheet, and then second set of tasks is how to write into it. Right. Okay, and we see for uh, CSV, but CSV won't dive deep. Same with Excel, same with JSON, and same with XML. We won't dive deep into this. And after completing this Excel manipulation, like learning the basics, we're going to involve regular expression with this, and we'll see how to automate these things. Okay. And same thing you can apply on different uh, work. Okay. So download this, guys. So first thing that we need to write is, of course, you have to import OpenPy Excel. Right. That is the first thing that you need to do. So this is your Excel. Right. So it has only one sheet. Okay. So this has dimensionality of 4, right? It has 4 columns: produce, cost per pound, pounds sold, total, and a lot of rows. Okay, let me know. Uh, then we'll start writing code here. Okay, so what we do is, once you have opened this, right, what we are going to do is we are going to uh, get a way of handling this Excel sheet. Right? Okay, and for this we have workbook. We create an object or variable of workbook. Right, open PyExcel dot uh, load workbook. Right, and you have to give the path. So you can give a complete path, right? Say in my case right now I'll need to give a complete path because my interpreter is pointing towards C users with HUN. Or else what I can do is I can make my interpreter point to the same folder where my code is and to the same folder where uh, this Excel file is. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to give name to it. What's this name? Produce sales dot xls. XLXS or SX? Okay, I always get confused in this. Okay, so you have got the workbook, right, in object of workbook. Like now you can do whatever you want to do. First thing I want to know is the type of this. Like what type of object that is it's giving me. Okay, try it out. Right, it took a bit longer because it has gone through all the content of this workbook, right? And it is a type of its own type, which is a workbook type. Okay, so basically this method, which is load underscore workbook, is returning you a workbook data type, right? Which is a unique data type for workbook itself, right? So it's a unique data type, guys. So you cannot do perform your normal operations on this, right? Because it's not your normal data type or data structure. Okay, that is the point. Okay, guys, are you following this? Okay. Okay, now you can get the sheet's name also, right? These are the small things, guys. Just going to make you comfortable with this, right? We can get the sheet's name, w dot get. See, you are getting so many options here. You can get sheet by name, or basically get sheet's name is what I'm looking for, right? And it's going to return you back a list, right? You can see that the output is a list, right? So if you had multiple sheets, you would have got the multiple names here, okay? And that too in a format which is list. Say for example, I include more lists here. Okay, I'm going to enable editing here. Okay, I'm going to introduce two and QWERTY, right, just for the sake of working. Okay, so I have added two more sheets here, right? And if I run this program once again, see, I'll have to run the complete program because my workbook has to be created again, right? It's taking time because it is going through the complete data to the workbook. Now you can see that the output it returns is a list of three strings, right? And each element of the list is basically a sheet, right? Sheet, two, and QWERTY. Okay, so this is how your this get sheet underscore names work. Okay, simple. Good, guys. Okay, I'm going to create an object of sheet. Right, I call it sheet object. Right, and that will be with the help of workbook, and that will be only we are going to only select the active sheet, right? Because we're going to work on active sheet, right, guys? Okay. Okay. So that is one thing you can do. Okay, let me show you all the things that you can do with this. That will be better. Okay, I'm going to create another sheet object here. So we call it sheet. That will also work. Okay, and here I can basically fetch sheet by name. It basically get sheet by name. Right, say for example, two. Uh, okay, it got deprecated. No worries, we're still showing it. Okay, it's giving you a sheet, but it is also giving you a deprecated warning. So let's not use this get sheet by name. Right, it's being deprecated. Okay, so the point here is just wanted to see the type of this, the sheet that we're going to create, right? Because if you want to manipulate a particular sheet, then you have to play with the sheet. So the type of sheet is worksheet. So WB object that we created was of the type workbook, and the sheet object that we created is of type worksheet. Okay. Okay. So these are the simple things that you can do. Other to check the location from which you're working, you'll have to give the complete path. Either you give the complete path of your this Excel sheet, or you go to the folder here from here, right? Click on this folder option, right? This folder image, and point your code or point this to the direction or into the folder where you have your both Python code and the Excel sheet. See, I've kept my Python code and Excel sheet in the same location. Right, see here. Okay, that's why you're getting file not found, because the path you are giving is seems to be wrong, right? Okay, check this, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to comment this. We're going to proceed with this sheet underscore object wp dot active, right? You simply see if this object is also same or not. Right. Once you know the types of the object, it's become easy. Okay, right now it is showing that, see, basically what we are doing with this is we are selecting the active sheet. So right now it is showing that the active sheet is QWERTY and I don't want it to be active. I want sheet to be active. Right. So for now, let's change it with the help of mouse only. Right. I'm going to close this. I'm going to run this again. Okay, so again showing QWERTY only. Yeah, because that is active. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, I'll have to open the workbook again, guys. So what are we going to do? Any changes you make, it's preferred that you open the workbook again. Okay, or let's see. Now the main active sheet is your basic sheet. Okay, now we can work on this. Okay, now what we need to do is say we need to get the sheet, cells from the sheet, right? You want to fetch the cells. How are you going to do that? Okay, you have the sheet object. Okay, see, sheet object basically gives you the power to do anything that you want. I want to get the cell, say for example A1, right? I can do something like this. I can get the cell A1 like this. Okay, see this? Now A1, as I had told you, will represent what? Okay, I'll need to open this again. A1 will be your column A, row 1. That will be, that should give you produce. Okay, let's see if it's giving you produce or not. Okay, for that we'll have to print the values actually. Okay, and to basically call this, you need to call the values. Okay, call the values. Sorry, it should be a singular, not plural. Okay, call the value. Okay, so you'll be getting the value column wise or cell wise. Okay, you can do something like this. So basically, if you want to get the value cell wise, oh sorry, yeah, cell wise, you can do like this. assign it to a variable, right? For example, variable equals a sheet underscore object a1, and then you can do variable dot value. Okay, doing any writing operation, we are simply doing the reading operation. Okay, got it. So can you do that? Okay, you do something like this. Say for example, C equals to uh, sheet object. Um, let's say that you have uh, say D1, right? Okay, then you can simply print C dot value. Okay, that will be total. Okay, okay. Can you do that? Okay. So when you will be performing the or automating these tasks, right, or doing this task way faster, these are the formulas that you'll be using. These are the basics. Okay, let's see more. Yeah, this is how you basically get the cells from the sheet, right? You can get it in another way also, right? Another way of getting it is you can create a cell object. Let's call it cell obj, right? So you can create a cell object which obviously will be accessing via the sheet, and then you can call the cell, and then you can mention the row and column to which you want to fetch it. Right? Row 1, column 1. Okay, and you can simply print. Right? Again, you'll have to call the value. Okay. Okay, you'll have to call the value. So that has two ways in which you can fetch a particular cell, right? Either you fetch it like this with a sheet object and kind of indexing, right? This is how you get the index or the value from the given index, right? In list or tuple. Or okay, you can fetch the cell value like this, or you can fetch the cell value like this. Both are legit. Both are good. It's up to you. Okay, can you try it out? Okay. Yeah, you can do something like this here. For I in range, say I start with initial value 1, let's have final value 10, and let's have jump of 2, right? And then I can do print whatever value I'm going to print, comma sheet dot I can do cell, right? Okay, I can fetch a particular cell with, I can give the row ID as I, or row value as I, and column, let's say that I want to get the uh, value, so column number 2 dot value. See, so you can manipulate it like this. If you're thinking that, okay, right now, like, how can I fetch the values? Okay, you can use a simple loop to get the values. Okay, I'm using the sheet variable. It should be sheet underscore object in my case. Still showing it because we already had created the sheet variable, right? That's why. So I want you to see this, what is happening here. Uh, I should ideally start from 0 to get the even values. And since we don't have row 0, I cannot do that. Right? I'll start with 1 only, and yeah, let it be. Okay, because row equals to 0 is nothing. It's going to give you an error. That's what is happening. So basically what we're doing here is we have an iterating object that is I, and the range we have given is from 1 till 10, and jump is of 2. Right? So it will be for 1, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. Okay, so these are the values. Now we are printing those values, right? So we are printing those values 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Apart from that, we have called the cell, right? And the value associated with the cell under this criteria. And what is this criteria? We are only getting the rows as an iterating object, right? That is 1, 3, 5, 7. And for a particular column, which is column number 2, right? And column number 2 is cost per round, per pound, not round. Okay. See this? That's our first column. That will be better. That will give you the name of the produce. That is your vegetables and fruits. Okay. Try it out. Good, guys. Okay, so eventually you'll come to know that for fetching a one value, you are good to go with this. But for manipulating and doing the looping through the values, you'll have to use this. Right. So these two are the good options. It's up to you which option you choose. So I'll be giving you a task on the basis of these guys. Okay. So we'll be seeing this example with a bit of the pandas also, right? Okay. Now, next thing, say that you want to find out the, you can basically find out the maximum rows and maximum columns that this particular sheet has. Okay. Now, for that, say I want to find out max rows and max columns. I'm going to comment this. Okay. How you can find out? You can have print sheet object dot max row. It's simple. Max column. You see that the rows that the Excel sheet that I've shared with you has 23,758 rows and 4 columns. Right? Now, this max rows and max columns are very good for uh, printing a lot of things. Like, for example, printing all the column names or printing all the rows names. Like, they work very good with that. Or for printing a particular row value, right? For that, we use this max col or max row. Do this. Okay, guys, if you have any queries, you can ask me. Till now, I don't think it's much of a difficult. See, again, let me tell you what we have done. So we created an object, WB, which was workbook. Okay, that is the first thing that we did in the start, right? Workbook object, which was opening the complete workbook. That is your Excel sheet. Okay, and after that, come down. We created an object of sheet, which was workbook.active. Now, wb.active will give you the active sheet only, right? It's going to assign you the active sheet, the current sheet. Okay, and after that, we started working with getting the cells from that particular sheet, right? Where we gave the column and the row, right? A1 is column A, row 1, right? D1 is column D, row 1, okay? And we printed it with the help of dot value, okay? Now, another way of getting the particular cells is like this. You have the sheet object, then you call dot cell. Cell is the method for that, where you pass which row you want to fetch and which column you want to fetch. Okay. And then if you want to fetch a range of rows or range of column, you can do like this. So for example, I do like this 0, comma 3. Should be 1, comma 3 actually, or 1, comma 4. If I do say first row and say ith column, right? So it's going to mean produce cost per round, per pound and pounds sold. Okay, I can get a particular column, right? All the columns for a particular row with the help of this. Okay, so you can manipulate all these things. Okay, can you do that? Uh, okay, take a task, guys. See, right now I know that, okay, there are what, 4 columns. So I could use range starting from 1 going till 5, right? So it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, right? These 4 elements. Now, what if I didn't know the number of the columns, right? And I want to print all the column names. How are you going to do that? Okay, take it as a task. So your task is printing all the column names without without knowing the column, the number of columns that are there. Right? Try it out. Now, since I saw that table, see what will happen is when you're going to work with this Excel sheet, you might not be knowing that, okay, how many columns are there or how many rows are there, right? Because you won't be opening it. You will be simply using the logics to find out the number of rows and to find out the number of columns. And in that case, I cannot give a hard-coded number, right? We cannot do that. See, we know that every time your column is going to start with 1 because there is nothing like 0, right? in your Excel sheet, guys, you won't have 0 rows or 0 columns. No, it will always start with 1. Okay, and you are not aware about the higher number. Okay, so how are you going to work with that? See that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the max column here. Where did we create max column? Okay, I'm going to copy and cut this from here and paste it here. Mm, yeah. I'm going to create an object of max column. Right, so I have an object of max column. Here what I'm going to do is, see here, any doubt here? Check this out, guys. Do you understand the range that I gave here? See, we don't know the number of columns, so I'm just going to fetch all the column or the maximum columns that you have, and then I'm going to do +1, because range function goes till the point -1 to the higher range. Okay, okay, so this is how you're going to get it. Now after that, what you need to do, I'll simply create a cell object. Right, that will be a sheet object dot cell. Okay, now here I'm going to give the row and column. Row, I know I need the first row, right? So I'm going to hard code it, and column is the ith column that I'm going to get. So that is what is going to be looped through, right? Column starting from 1 going till max call +1 -1. That is again max call. Okay, and simply once I have the object, I'm going to print it. So the object dot value, I'm going to print the values of those. Okay, this is also is required. Okay, check here. Okay, so this is how you can get all the values of the columns inside an Excel sheet using Python. And trust me, guys, this is a very important part when you are manipulating the Excel sheet, because you have to know, right, how many columns are there, what are the names of those columns, or how many rows are there, right? Okay, check this out. Interesting, right? Now, you must be wondering, guys, that okay, we have only worked on active sheet, right? Because the object that we created was for active sheet. What if I want to work with the multiple or different sheet in here, right? That is something that I would want to work. Okay, I don't want to work with sheet, the basic sheet. I want to work with the second sheet or the third sheet or so on, right? For that, simply what you have to do is, see, that method has been deprecated. I'll have to check that though, but still, uh, you'll have to call this. Still, it is deprecated, but you'll have to call this sheet object with get sheet by name, right? And then that will be your sheet object, and you can perform all these tasks on that sheet object. Right now, we are working on active sheet, right? Although you can work with a sheet by name, and you can select any of the sheet and First of all, what you're going to call. See how you're going to work. You're going to open the WB object. You're going to create a WB object. Then you'll get all the name of the sheets, right? And then whichever sheet you want to work with, you'll mention it here, and you'll get the sheet object. And then you're going to proceed the way we are proceeding right now, okay, with the same sheet object. Okay. Okay. Did you understand what I just told, guys? Because I'm not getting any response from you all. Okay, we'll do that when we will do the writing operation. Okay, when we are going to write something on the Excel. Okay, for now, let's stick with this. Okay, let's take another example. Um, census data Excel sheet. Okay, yeah, you can have. Okay, you have so many census data. Okay, so simply search through this, right, and get any of the this Excel. Okay, I'm going to get this. Let me check first. This is for census of India 2011. Yeah, you see that this looks interesting. Yeah, it's very much complex, right? Uh, let's not move to the complex part, but still, if you want to see and manipulate this, you can try it out. Okay, but I'll suggest you to stick to the simpler one. Okay, yeah, this looks simple. Okay, guys, I'm going to share this link. Get the sheet and perform the same task on this sheet. Okay, perform the same task. Now here you have 3 sheets. Okay, you can select any of the sheet and you can start working on them. So the task, guys, is a very simple task. Right? What you have learned, you have to apply that. Okay, let me jot down what things you have to do on the new Excel sheet. Right, you have to. Uh, you can start like this. First thing that you need to do: get names of all the sheets. Right, select first sheet. Read all the columns. Column names. Read and print actually. Okay, try it out. So basically what you need to do, you have to read all these column names. You have to print this. How many? There are a lot of columns actually here. That will be interesting. Okay, try it out. Yeah, saved it as India data. And also tell me, okay, so this is what you need to do here. Okay? Simply try it out. Should not take you more than 3 or 4 minutes. Okay. Now here you have to use get sheet by name. Okay. For creating the sheet object, instead of sheet dot or workbook dot active, use get sheet by name. Okay. So I know that that is being deprecated, but for now you can use it. Like in Python 3 or 3.6 or 3.7, it's got deprecated. But I'll find out the alternative of this. Okay. Let me check quickly while pausing my screen. What is the alternative to it? Okay. Okay, there is no alternative for that, so you'll have to select the active. So for now, you can use get sheet by name, right? So basically, OpenPyXL works very well with Python version 2. Okay, so let me show you. You should have completed by now. So I'll show you step by step, right, how you're going to do that. First thing that you need to do is you need to create a workbook. Okay, now I'm going to create an object as one. Name is, I think I kept as India. I did save it, yeah. India underscore data. India underscore data. Okay, so that is the file. Okay, so first thing that you need to do is you need to create the see section of XLS. No worries. Okay, now next thing that you need to do, you need to select the sheet. So I'm simply going to copy this. first I'll do is I'll fetch all the sheets. I'm going to find out what are the names which are there inside this, right? Then only I'll be able to do anything else, right? Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so guys, simply copy the complete content, right? And you can copy and paste it in the previous sheet only, right? And sheet 2. You create a sheet 2 and simply paste it here. Okay, so .xls is not supported. See, that is something which is there with Python 3. Okay. Uh, okay, so I've copied this and produce. Okay. So here, reduce seal, I suppose was the name. Yeah. Okay. Let's fetch all the names. See, the point is that we have to work on the sheet, second sheet, right? Let's see how does that work. So guys, I have okay. You have sheet and sheet 1, right? For now, it is being showing deprecated, but no worries. You can use it for now. I'm going to select sheet 1. Just a sec. Okay, it has to be WB1. Okay, now you got the sheet object. Now you can perform all the tasks that I have told you. So kindly do that. Right? The tasks involved what? The number of rows. How are you going to get the number of rows? And number of columns. Right. So the sheet 1. See, we have selected a sheet 1 now. Okay. It has 1849 rows, and the number of columns it has is 89 columns. Now, the next thing that I asked you to was to print all the column names. Right, that is what I asked you to do. Okay. So for that, I'm going to create an object of max call. Let's call it max call 1. Okay, and here I simply have to give sheet 1 dot max column. Simply I'm going to loop through it. Okay, am I opening a different thing? Check, guys. Why we are getting like this? Okay, we have to get max column 1. So you're getting all the columns here. Okay, So this is how you basically work with this. If you have multiple sheets, right? Okay, you got all the columns. So the point is that uh, we downloaded that particular Excel file, and XLS format is not supported on this OpenPyXL for this basically Python 3. Okay, so what I did was I copied that complete Excel sheet in a second sheet one of the same produce sales. Right. I copied and pasted everything and I saved it. Okay, and after that, we perform these operations. Can we go through this? So basically what you can do is you can have multiple objects like this, right? I can have sheet one, I can have sheet zero, right? So I can have multiple sheet objects who are going to be working like this, okay? Good, and you can start reading from the sheet, cells and all. Now there are a few more things about reading, then we'll move to writing. Okay, now what if I wanted to print the first column value, or yeah, uh, complete value of the first column? Okay, guys, are you getting this, guys? Okay, tell me how you are going to read the first column value. Um, Row 2. Are you sure? See, I cannot iterate the whole column, right? Column wise, it will be iterating. Prashant, what I'll need to do is I'll need to iterate through the rows, right, for a particular fixed column. So I'll get the complete column value. You getting my point? See, if I want to fetch a particular column here, say this column, so my column value is going to be fixed, and I'll have to iterate through the complete list. Sorry, complete row. So my row will be the iterator. Row will be the uh, iterating variable. Okay, let's see this. So I have to read all the rows, right? We have to read all the rows, right? So for that we need to have max row. Okay, so max row will be what? Let's see that which sheet you want to read. Let's see, sheet the second sheet is what we want to read. So uh, I can use max row. Okay, that's confusing. Let's call it max RW. Okay, that should give you the max row of sheet 1. Now what I'm going to do is for I in say range. Now my range will start with 1, and that is for max RW plus 1. Right, so I'll have to read all the rows. See, I want to get the value of a particular column, all the value of a particular column. So I'll have to iterate through all the rows. Let's have cell object. Okay, cell object will be your sheet 1 dot cell. Yeah. Here I'll have row equals to I, because I'm going to read all the row. And for a particular column, which column I want to read? Say for example, the column that I want to read is this 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth column. Simply then we are going to print cell object dot value. Okay, check this out. Right, so that is going to read a complete column for you. Okay, print a particular column value you can have. Similarly, you can do a print a particular row value. I think you should be able to do this. Right? We have done this, printing a particular rows value. Right? The column will be a traitor. If you want to print a particular string, what string, Sai? Not. You'll have to be more clear. As in, removing duplicate values again. See, Sagar, once you get the values, see the main task is getting the fetching the values from the Excel sheet. After that, you can do a lot of different tasks with the help of for, with the help of if, right? See, you got the for value. Now you can put a if here, and you can have the conditions where you want to remove the duplicacies, or you want to get a particular string. You can compare, right? You can print those particular values. Yes, if you want to search a particular keyword, then have a if statement where you are equating that keyword, right? You can have cell underscore obj to a value, say dot value, compare it equal to any of a value like uh, Nicobars, right? Then you can perform the task here. Okay. Now it's up to you what logic you want to build, but you'll have to do it like this. So again, you can also remove the duplicate values like this, or you'll have to build a different logic for removing the duplicate values. Got it? See, for removing the duplicate values, I'll suggest using a regular expression. That will be faster or easier. Okay, or you can use loops or basically if condition, right? Where you can remove the duplicate values. Where you see what you can do is uh, you can have a count, right? You can have a variable count whose initial value is 0. If you found out that okay, any particular same characters are counting more than once, you can simply remove this. Or else, what I'll suggest is using the methods like whatever value you are getting, right? Say that you save it into a list, okay, and then convert it into a set. Right now, set is an unordered collection of unique data types. So set is going to remove all the duplicacies. That is something you can do. Okay, try it out. Guys, try. Okay, guys, do this task. Okay, for this particular code that I have written, right? For this particular column, remove the duplicate values. Okay, try it out. It's going to take you 3 or 4 minutes, and you have to use set. Okay, I'll give you a hint that you can use set function. Okay, try it out. Okay, it's taking every word at a time. Okay, that's bad. Okay, tell me how you can do this. See, it's breaking every character at a time. It's creating a list of all of the basic list of lists. It is right, and every letter, for example, through Thiruvananthapuram, right? Okay, hey, try it out, guys. We should be able to do that, or take it as a homework, right? That will be interesting. How you're going to solve this? Say, for example, in Tamil Nadu, right? How you going to add this? Okay. I don't need to return this though. Okay. Take it as a task where you want to remove the duplicacies. Okay. Now, uh, next thing that you want to do is, okay, that ends your reading part, right? I think that is enough for the reading part. Right. Let's move to the writing part. Okay. Any queries, guys? You can ask me. Any queries? I can show you a bit of the numerical operations. Right. Okay, see, if you want to perform numerical operation on Excel itself, as in if you're looking for the formulas and all, then Pandas is the best option for that. Right? If you want to work fast and able to manipulate the way you work on Excel sheet, then your Open Pi Excel is the best. Right? Okay. So okay, create a new file, guys. Right? Create a new file. Name it as read underscore Excel. Sorry, name it as write underscore Excel. Reading we have done. Now we're going to write a few things into the Excel. Again, first thing that I need to do is import open PyExcel. Next thing you need to do is create a workbook. Now, workbook creation will be different here. Open PyExcel dot workbook. Now, this is how you create a workbook for writing something into it. Yeah. Try it out. Create a file, guys. Sheet wb dot active. Now, have sheet title. Even I can change the title here also. Right. You do something like this. So basically, you can define the sheet title like this. Okay. Active sheet. So the reason we are going to able to work with this is because we have not saved it, right? Okay. So we'll have to save it into a particular. See, we are going to create an Excel spreadsheet here, right? So we'll have to save it. Okay. So till we don't save anything, we are not able to create anything, right? So whatever you're looking at is all virtual till you save it. Okay, so let's take a break. Okay, and then we'll continue from here. So let's a break, guys. Okay, guys. So in workbook, W is uh, uppercase. Okay, make sure that. So I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay, you can all check this out. Okay, everyone back? Let me know. Okay, now any queries, guys? So basically, you can change the titles of the sheet. Right? That is something that you all can do. You can change the uh, titles of the sheet. That's one thing. Okay, you can add a sheet to a workbook. Right? I can have WB dot. Uh, I can create sheet. Yeah, I can create sheet. Right, and here I'll have to give the index. Right, say index equals to 1, and I can give the title. Title equals to say hello. Right. So all these changes will come into effect if and only when you save it. My dot xlsx. Okay, try it out. Okay, so you have ABC and hello. Right, so that is how you are going to create a sheet for yourself. Okay, sorry, a workbook, a complete workbook. Okay, easy, right, guys? So this OpenPy Excel is quite easy to work with, and it's quite good to work with. Okay, now you can do a lot of different tasks in here. Save is something that I'm going to leave for the end, guys. Right? Okay, and all the tasks that you perform, and then after performing them, you ultimately save. Right? Okay, now we are going to save things here. How are you going to do that? It's quite easy actually. Right? Let's have variable one. Say a equals to uh, sheet, right? Dot cell. Right? You can create a cell for this. You can give the row and column. Row equals to 1, say column equals to 1. Right? You can have a dot value is equal to say Vidhan. Okay, you can do like this. I can have B. I can have column 1, row 2. Okay, let's check. Right, so these are two values that we have stored. Okay, so you have row 1, column 1 is Vidhan, right? This is row 1, this is column 1, then row 2 and column 2 is Maximus. And then whatever changes you are going to do, you are going to save those changes. Okay. Right. You can also remove the sheet, like the way you created the sheet. You can also remove the sheet. Say, for example, I can remove a particular sheet from here. Now, this is active sheet. Now, I wanted to see, guys, if I wanted to work with, say, a sheet that is hello, right? Again, I'll have to do something, in a different way, right? The way that we had done here, okay, where we are creating sheet one, sheet zero with get sheet by name uh, um, method, right? You'll have to follow that way only. So instead of creating sheet object like this, you'll have to create a sheet object with get sheet by name. Okay. So there are two ways. One is by creating a sheet object with the help of w.workbook.active, or creating sheet object like this. See, after all these operations, I want to add something into the other sheet, right? Say, for example, I've added this in the active sheet, right? That is something I have done. Now I want to add something into the new sheet, right? Programmatically, how am I going to do that? Same way, like wb dot create. So you can have c equals to sheet one dot cell, same values. Okay. Okay, sorry. So sheet name was also not Vidhan, it was hello. Okay, my bad. Okay, try it out. Then I'll tell you why you're getting the error. Yeah, try it out, guys. Done. Now, basically, to start working from here, right, you'll have to start working from the start. Okay. You have to start creating sheet from the start only. So take this as a task also. I want you to try it out, right? Okay. So the next task that you have to try today is uh, um, create a second sheet and add values to the cell. Right? This is a task that you have to do. Okay. I want you to try it out and see what are the error you're getting and why you're getting. Right? Try to figure it out, and then I'll tell you how to do it. Okay. So this is how basically you write into a sheet. Okay. Any error? Sorry. Any queries here? Guys, any queries? Okay, let me quickly tell you how to use pandas, right? You can perform the same task using pandas also, right? Now, Panda supports XLSX and XLS also, right? These are the things that pandas can support. Yes, Aditya, you'll have to do you'll have to work from the start, right? You have to incorporate those sheet by name from the start, okay? Not at the end, okay? So it's input output error, right? Uh, that you cannot write into this file because okay, you'll simply try it out, right? Try to figure out why you're getting this error, okay? Now create a new file, guys, right? So guys, I'm going to quickly tell you these things, right, about pandas. Uh, Name it Excel underscore pandas. Okay, now pandas. Okay, do you have idea about where we use pandas or what is pandas, guys? Okay, so guys, pandas is basically data manipulation tools that we have, right? Okay, and it is basically built on top of NumPy, which is called numerical Python, right? So pandas is quite specific. Okay, now it has a very specific data structure, or the way in which it structures data is a very specific format that we call data frame. Okay, so in pandas, whatever data you are going to store, stored in a format which is called data frame, and that makes it quite interesting and good to work with. Okay, now data frames, what they do is they allow you to store and manipulate tabular data, right? Whatever data that you have in tabular format, you will be able to store it in the tabular format. You will be able to manipulate that data which is in table, right? Whether it is rows or columns, you can do everything here. Okay, so there are several ways through which you can create a data frame, right? Let's see. um, okay, so what you can do is import pandas as PD, right? That is first thing that you need to do. Okay, and you can have dictionary kind of a structure. Okay, after that you can do that. Just create a dictionary, right? A simple dictionary. Okay, where you can have uh, list of countries or countries with capitals, areas, all those things. You can have names. I'm going to create a very simple dictionary name. So you have location. Um, so, Mumbai, let's see, Delhi. Let's add one more variable here. Number. Okay, so this is one of the dictionary, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a data frame for this. You can do uh, d underscore f, right? You can have pd dot uh, mm, data frame, and we're going to pass this di. And simply print this data frame. Okay, so you can see that how it basically works. It is a very simple example of for creating a data frame. Right, so you can check that it created from a dictionary, right? We provided name and value, key and value, right? And value were your what? Uh, Values were your um, a list, right? All the values were stored in a list. So it created a data frame, and the data frame, the type of data frame is basically it gives you uh, a table, right? Which is quite easy to manipulate. Right? That is what your pandas do. So pandas give you a data structure which is quite easy and feasible for you to manipulate. Okay, and that is why pandas is used a lot. Okay, so you can use it for actually reading CSV or Excel files and all those things. You can use pandas to read all those things. Okay, so that was an example. Now let's work with Excel sheet. So how do you import it? You write pd dot uh, read. See, you can read CSV Excel, right? pd dot read CSV or read Excel, and here you pass the Excel file. Right, so I'm going to give the path, that is say um, what is the name of the file, guys? I'm going to save it in obj. Right, so I'm simply opening a file here. Now here you can give the sheet name which you want to read, header, names, any column index, rows, all you can do here, right? You can do a lot of things here actually. Okay, let's print obj. Normally we should call it df, data frame, right? That will be better. So we might be needing obj later on. See, the output that is going to print you will be its own version of this, right? Now, when pandas analyzes things, guys, you don't have to worry about, okay, I have to calculate the number of rows and columns again. No, you don't have to worry about that. Pandas is going to give you the values also. Okay, try it out. It's quite simple. Now, working with this will be way easier than OpenPyXL, but they have their own pros and cons. Right? Okay, so pandas is basically what we use in data science a lot, and OpenPyXL is what we use in your normal manipulation of the Excel files. Right? So it's up to you where you want to use what. Now let's say that I want to read a particular sheet, right? Instead of reading complete, see, it only showing you the first sheet, right? The active sheet. Now if I want to read a particular sheet, right? Let's say df1 equals to, obviously I'll have to read it from this file, right? And then I'll have to give the sheet name variable whose value will be what was the sheet value here, sheet 1. Right, that can help you out in reading a particular sheet. Okay, right. So I was able to read this particular sheet with the help of this. Okay. So you can import and read a particular sheet from this. Right. Quite easy, right, to work with this. Now, what makes it quite interesting is that I can read the columns also. Okay, I can basically read a particular column. I don't have to loop through it for reading a particular complete value of a column. Right, I can do index of a particular column. Now here we use index. So see, we have 84 columns. So indexes will start from 0. See here. Okay. Can you spot the difference? Yes, alignment is the difference one. See, in the previous one we were getting 84 columns. Here we are going to get 83 columns. Okay, you can get a lot of different information like df1 dot. You can get the tail information. Anyways, find out the spot the difference and tell me what are the difference. So tail is going to give you the last values, the last 5 values, right? Last 5 rows to be precise. You can get the head. Head is going to give you starting 5 values. You can define how many values you want. Let's see, I'm going to get 10. It's going to give you first 10 rows. Okay. You can have describe, or basically, see, one more thing that you can do is I can have a particular column's data. If you know the column name, say level, I can read that particular column's data. Right? The column is level. So in short, what you can do is you can print particular columns, right? Say that I want to print column level, right? So it is going to print all the values associated with one single column. Okay. If you want to get the name of all the columns, see, if you want to get the name of all the columns, you can do it like this. It's going to give you name of all the columns. See, you're getting name of all the columns here. So guys, pandas is quite a big library, right? There's a lot of things that you can do. Right? Then you have info. It gives you summary of the data frame, right? The type of object, right? uh, non-null type of object, int 64, all these information. How many memory usage it has, more than 1.2 MB, and so on. Okay. You can find out the shape also. Like shape is again. So basically, guys, what pandas is doing is it is systematically giving you the value. I think describe works with this. Um, okay, I'm not able to recall it. I can get the shape. Right. I might need to pass. Okay, yeah, that is a shape. Rows and columns. Okay, let's work with the first one. Right. Remember, we created two DF object. Right. DF was for the active sheet, and DF1 was for the sheet 2. Okay, so I'm going to work from here on sheet 2. That will be easy to understand, or active sheet. You can do print df dot d types. Right, you can get the data types of all the column wise. So produce is your object. Your cost per pound is float value, pound sold float value, total float value, and object is your data frame object. Okay. Right. So if you want to view a particular column, you can do like this. Right. You understand that? For viewing a particular column, I can basically give the name of that column, right, like ROTUCE. Right. That is going to print me a particular column. See, values are something that you will get by default, right? So this is a column that you are printing. You can similarly you can print multiple columns. Say if I want to fetch a multiple columns, um, produce, and what was the other value of the column, guys? Total, right? Not like this. I'll have to pass it twice. Yeah, you'll have to pass it twice into a list. Okay, check this out. So basically your pandas makes it way easier. Now what if I wanted to see a specific rows data? So we have a function for this which is called LOC. Right? With the help of LOC we can view a particular rows and columns. Let's see that. See everything I'm printing, okay? Df dot LOC and so I want to view particular rows, right? So what I did, see LOC is a method, you can say that, or is basically function. Okay, and here you give the indexes. Indexing is always starts from 0. So I'm giving this 20th as the start point here. You can scroll up, you can check. So it is starting from 20th and going till 40th. So you can get a particular row also. Say for example, I want to get a particular row. I can also get it. No, not like this. I'll have to slice it. Slicing is something that you'll have to do for this. Okay, without slicing, it's not going to work. Okay. Okay, see this? What if you wanted to slice rows and columns together? Right, say I wanted to, for row 20, 21, 22, I wanted a column which is total. Right? Let's say that you want to do this. So you give the range, right, slicing range, and after that you give the column. Say I'm going to have the column like total. Right? For 20, 21, 22 rows, you got the value. Okay. Okay, I hope you got how it works. Okay, one more thing. Let's see how to filter the data. Okay, let's say that I want to filter a particular data. Okay, let's not include this here. I'll have to access data frame, right? Dot say from the head I want to filter. Right now, df the value that I have to pass, which I want to filter. Right, then here I'll have to give the condition. That is say total is equal to say 11.60. I want those values to be filtered uh, in the head. So you can check that. So these values got filtered. You're only going to show the values which has 11.60 as the, or it matches. When these values matches, those are the filters that you're going to get. Okay. So for basically manipulating the data inside the
Excel or any of the format in CSV also, we prefer using pandas. But for creating the Excel sheets and then uh, playing with the cells, your OpenPyXL is the best. You can filter multiple values also. Uh, you see, this is what we have seen is what we call filter using or filtering using a numeric value or numeric condition. Now, there's something which you might find uh, uh, familiar. Like, say, for example, DF. See, whenever you do the filtering, or you use dot head always. Okay. Let's say that we have um, a particular column I want to work with. Say, produce. PRODUCE. Right. And on this column, I want to map something, right? So you can use lambda here. Okay, I want to map something, and the condition under the lambda is say x dot. I can do its width. Just a sec. Yes, I can add something to it. Nope, nope, nope. Lambda x extends with PLANT. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm using a map function, and with the map function, I'm finding out all the values which ends with ant. So that is again eggplant, right? So you can find out all the values that ends or that contains a particular uh, characters or words or numbers with the help of map, right? So you can combine lambda with this. Or you can use filter also here. Okay, one more thing, I can also get the unique values from this, right? Df say from total, I want to get the unique values, right? I can do that. Okay, so the point is that you can do a lot of things here, guys, right? These are the basics one. So these are the unique values that it is showing you, and it is showing you as list. Compare it with this. So it is not showing all the values, but this, so that solves your issue, right? Somebody had asked me that how to get the unique values out of a particular column. So you can use pandas for that quite easy. So pandas saves you a lot of time, manipulation time. Print df dot, I think describe dsc. Yeah, your describe also works. Okay, go ahead, guys. So describe ends with this. Yeah, now this is something very much interesting, guys. df.describe. So pandas, when you upload or when you read a particular file using pandas, it gives you a mathematical description of the complete data set that you have provided to it. And you can see that you are able to get the mean, then standard deviation, minimum, 25%, 50%, 75% maximum, right? Count, all these things you are able to get it from here, right? Now can I count df dot df dot count, say df dot sum, or do I need to pass? Okay, see here, I can do count, right? Df dot count, I can do df dot sum, and it's going to sum everything. Now in string, it is going to perform concatenation. In numbers, it is going to add. You want a column wise, then you can give xs equals to, say, how many columns we have? Just a sec, guys. 4. Uh, I'm not able to recall the column wise. Right, I'll have to check. So basically, xs equals to 0 gives you column wise, right? Let me see. Xs equals to 1. Okay, I'll have to check. Right. Uh, Ideally, xs equals to 0 gives you column wise sum. Xs equals to 1 gives you row wise sum. Okay, there's something that you can perform like df. We had what total. I can do df dot sum, and let's say I want to perform column wise sum. Let's see this first. Nope. Okay, there are so many things that you can do, but I think what I've told you is quite enough, right? Okay, rest of these things I'll have to simply see. Okay, got it, guys? Df dot head. This should give you the sum. Up. Okay, now uh, I'll share these files with you. Any queries here, guys? Just a sec. Before moving forward, I'll have to check a few things. Okay, I'll show you one of the things that will be quite useful, right? Well, we are performing the or automating it. Let's say that I want to perform total of this, the last column, right? How to modify cell values using pandas. Okay. 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 Any idea how you can modify the cell values? Want to try? Yes, I'll share that source material with you. Okay, to writing a cell value, uh, okay, let's do one thing. Mm, mm, mm. Let's have file object, right? That is my dot. Let's write into a particular file, right, which is my dot xls6. Okay, I can have df. Let's call it df3 equals to pd dot read underscore excel. Let's get the file. Okay, I think for this we'll have to use Excel Writer. Mm, tfc dot I think 2. Mhm. Okay, I'll have to check. Right, I'll have to use Excel Writer for this, I suppose. Okay, again, the problem here is, see, writing into it, again, you'll have to use behind the scene and open PyExcel, right? So Pandas is not good with writing, actually, right? So what you need to do is say, you have to create a writer object. See, I won't suggest you writing through Pandas, but what you can do is you can do uh, uh, Excel writer, right? And the file in which you want to write, and you have to mention the engine which you're going to use for this. Again, it's going to take you to open PyExcel, right? Okay, so I'll suggest you not to use Pandas for writing. Whatever calculation you're getting, use open PyExcel for writing into the cells and basically cells. Okay. Right, so you'll be using OpenPy Excel Writer for this. So I'll suggest not to use Pandas for writing. Instead of use OpenPy Excel, use OpenPy Excel for writing. Okay, that would be a better option. Otherwise, it's going to complicate. That's why I think I don't use Pandas for writing. Okay, you can have df3 dot to Excel. It's not giving a hint also. You can have invoke the writer, right? And you can mention the column where you want to write. It's short column, start row, like that. Okay. So I won't suggest you using this for writing. Okay. Okay, so let's move to see. I want you to practice on this, right? Because we want to perform a lot of tasks with Excel sheet only, right? Okay, I'll show you some of the example of CSV, XML, and JSON also, but we are not going to dive deep into this. For pandas, I'll share the material. There's a lot of material available over the internet for pandas. Create a new file, guys. Okay, and this we're going to see a very simple example of reading a CSV file, right? Okay, we are going to read the CSV file. We're not going to do much with this. CSV underscore example. So for that, you need to import CSV, right? Okay, do you have any CSV file with you? Okay, let me check. I think I have a lot of CSV file. Okay, one is predict.csv. Yeah, it's on the desktop only. Check this first. So we are using your normal file operation for this. Right, as CSV file. Okay, so we have opened a file in a read-only mode. Okay, let's have a reader, and what we're going to do is CSV dot reader, and we're going to read CSV file. Okay, whatever that is inside this, we are going to go through it with the help of say for all the rows in um, reader. We are simply going to print row, and after that we'll need to close the CSV file. Check this out, then I'll tell you. Okay, so this is how you basically read a CSV file. Now, if you want to manipulate the CSV file, Pandas is the very good option. Like, you don't have to worry about the other things, as in the okay, have this code, and I'm sharing this CSV file with you. Okay, so I'm pausing the screen and I'm going to desktop. Book one, object selects. Okay, so I've shared that CSV that I'm using. So that CSV is something that I had created, which was supposed to mimic an example of three sensors value and the condition, good, broken, bad, something like that. Right? Just for the predictive analysis, I use this. Okay, use this and see how you can read this. Now it is working as your normal uh, files, right? So it's easy to work with CSV. Now, if the same thing you wanted to do with pandas, then instead of open Excel, you'll have to use open CSV. Okay. So tomorrow, guys, we are going to work with regular expression, and then we are going to combine everything for making our task easier, automating it. Say, for example, if you have a log file, how to read those log files, right? How to um, basically filter the values from that file, or when you're writing something, or how to create a batch script, right? Not you only double click, and in the background we are going to call a Python code, and that Python code is going to do everything, right? As in reading a file and pasting the values and all those things, right? So these kind of tasks is what we are going to practice. I think not in next lecture, but next to next lecture. So next week will be the last lectures. It was supposed to end with 10 lectures, but I think it has extended till 12 or 13 one, because we had missed 1 or 2 hours in between. Yeah, apart from that, I have included some extra things. So that has extended our sessions. Excuse me. So whatever we have learned till now and what is we are going to learn tomorrow is all is going to be used in simplifying the task. You're welcome, Sai. Go ahead, guys. Done. So it's easy, right? So we are not going to go deeper into this, right? I'll share the pandas resource for you, which you can use. But normally we're going to work with text file and Excel sheet. So uh, when we'll be reading, I can show you with the CSV also, right? Okay, so create a new file. Let's see an example of JSON, right? How you handle JSON data. Right? These are different data types that you handle. Okay, JSON example. Okay, so handling JSON in Python is quite easy actually, right? Parsing JSON or creating JSON is quite easy. Let's import. So simply you have to import JSON, like importing CSV. Uh, Sorry guys. So let's say that you have some JSON. Like JSON is your Java script object notation, right? So whenever you are doing the API calls or sending data, right, so that data format is mostly in either in JSON or in XML, right? Okay, mostly we prefer JSON, but many of the industrial now, the major place, almost everywhere we prefer JSON, but there are some places and some use cases where you'll find XML. So recently I found I was working on one of such use case, which was basically your open or OPC UA, where all the data was represented in XML, right? So they have their own reasons for that, but still. Now, so if you have some JSON, say that JSON also looks like this. Right? JSON looks very much similar to your XML, guys. Okay, your sorry, your dictionary. Let's have name is Maximus. Or you can do one thing, you can get any of a JSON. Uh, okay, let's do one thing. Let's fetch a JSON from somewhere else. See, JSON looks like this only. Okay, no, not this one. Okay, search for any of this tool, guys. I think I have somewhere JSON file. Okay, just a sec. Not this one. Maximus. I can have name here. Each the location equals to say. Okay. Okay. So this is how your JSON looks like. Okay, I'm going to copy this. And whenever you are working with JSON, and when Python handles it, Python converts it into a string, guys. Okay. So every time when you are dealing with Python, Python is going to convert it into a string. Okay. So whenever you are getting JSON data, right? Say you'll have to use certain library like request, okay, and through which you can basically get the HTTP from the APIs this JSON data. Let's say that you're getting this JSON data, and I have this as value, right? Now, how do you work with this? It's very simple. You'll need to pass the data. Right? The term that we use is pass the uh, value. Right? It's very simple. Right? Uh, out equals to uh, JSON dot loads. That's it. And you pass the value. Okay. So what it's going to do? See, basically what it has done. Whatever JSON data you are getting, right? It is going to convert it into a dictionary. Okay. Once you get the known data format, then you can do anything you want to do with this, right? So it might look that okay, we are not doing anything extraordinary, but what we are doing is we have converted this into a dictionary, and that is what is very much important, guys. Right? How you're going to loop through this dictionary, right? Uh, you can basically do uh, for uh, I and j in uh, out dot let's have for I in out print I, and I can print out type. Okay, no worries, Suresh. Right. So this is how you basically parse, or when you say parsing, that means that you're making sense out of it, or you are taking the, or you're dissecting it, right, for your benefit. Okay, this is how you basically parse a JSON. Okay. Now you can do the vice versa. Okay, where you are going to create a JSON. How you create a JSON? Okay, uh, say for that you'll have to have dictionary, of course. Uh, you get a dictionary. Mumbai is very humid normally, right? Okay, so you can create a dictionary, right, and simply convert that dictionary into JSON. So you want to perform the same task in, say, Java or any other language. It's a bit tedious, actually. Y equals to, simply have to call this method JSON dot dumps. Dumps. I'm just going to convert it into, okay, I'm performing this quickly because these are repetitive tasks. Right? So basically, it's going to convert it into a string, right? And that string is the JSON value that you can pass it on. Okay, right? And you can import a request library, and with the help of that, you can simply pass it on an API. You can add it to an API, right? Then you can pass it on. Okay, so I'm copying. Sorry, I'm copying this and pasting this. So we have JSON, we have XML. I'll tell you XML tomorrow. Right? Okay, I think that will be enough for today. Okay, so we have seen how to work extensively on Excel, right, using OpenPyXL, and a bit about pandas also, but we didn't. We went a bit fast with pandas on Excel, right? Because we want to use OpenPyXL for further operations, to be honest, right? And after that, we have seen how to work with, how you can read CSV files, right, and how you can work with JSON, right? So you might need JSON in the future. Okay, tomorrow we are going to start with regular expression. We are going to see a lot of examples or a lot of things in regular expression, right? Okay, before going forward, let me share the pandas with you. Pandas for Excel. So you'll get a lot of tutorials. Read Excel. Your common Excel path demonstrated. So you need data visualization. You have Matplotlib, OpenPyXL for reading and writing into Excel, right? Okay, so again, you'll have to move to OpenPyXL only. Okay, you can try this out. Simply go through this, do a bit practice on this, right? Of course, this you can see this also. Okay, so try the homework that I gave you, right? And we'll discuss that part tomorrow. Any queries you have, you can ask me. Nothing. Django, no. Django, no, no. I see. Django is your again web framework. We are not going to cover web framework actually. See, we are not. We our task is not to create a web application, right? Prashant, you're getting an error. Permission error test dot xlsx. Just let me see. Open PyXL. Okay, I'm sharing the code with you. Just simply compare it once. Okay. Okay. Check this out and come back to me. Tomorrow we can start sessions at like 10 minutes before your regular time. Okay. For the queries related stuff like this. Okay. I want you to simply try it out once. Okay. So that will be all for today. Signing off now. Bye bye.